Greetings, viewers. Here we are once again for another Hamfest trip video. That's right, as if I didn't already have enough junk, I'm going to get more junk. So we're going to be taking a trek to Kingston, Ontario, where everything's legal as long as you don't get caught. Remember that song? We'll see how that goes. I'm not terrifically optimistic, and it's not exactly a short drive, but it's not terrible either. It's about a 2-hour drive from here, which means that it's about 12:30 right now, so I'll have to be awake in about 5 hours, which gives me an hour to prepare. I gotta leave at 6:30 to get there for the 8:30 start time. You know, give or take a little bit, because I think it's like an hour and like 48 minutes or something, but you know, with all the road destruction that's going on in this city and the province, I mean, last time I went on a huge Hamfest trip, not the most recent one, in fact, actually, yeah, the most recent one too, I ran into road destruction, but Peoria trip ran into a highway closure, and the Eastern Ontario Hamfest ran into a whole bunch of road destruction, so I don't know what's going to happen now. I'm hoping it's not going to be too chaotic. It's not Montreal or anything like that. Anyway, I'm sure I'll get flamed for saying that on a video. There's a bunch of stuff I wanted to do, videos I wanted to make, things I needed to shut down. None of that's going to happen, because I am simply going to record this and then go to bed. That is how this is going to work. So I will see you all in the morning. Hopefully we will not forget anything, but you know, you never know. Okay, it is Saturday morning. The sun has not even started peaking yet. I really hate this time of year when the days get really short, and here in 2 weeks when we go off of daylight savings time, because they still haven't eliminated it, they'll get even shorter. Isn't that nice? So it's almost 6:30 right now. And I said that I needed to leave at 6:30 in order to get there for 8:30. I just did a traffic report, and I actually have gained 15 minutes on that. In fact, actually I've gained 17 minutes, but we'll call it 15 minutes just to be on the safe side. So we'll see how this goes. Hoping not to spend too much money, but you know, that never works. I'm hoping that by the time I get out there at like 6:45-ish, the sun has started to come out. Although I think today is supposed to be cloudy. If I remember right, the forecast was not particularly kind about what's going on. I just hope it's not going to rain, because I don't have my jacket. Go figure. Hamfest trip, no jacket? Isn't that how the last one worked? Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to put these things away and get some things ready. I gotta figure out camera, because I can't use that stupid China camera anymore, because the battery is way too bad, and I tried buying a replacement, and guess what? Completely the wrong battery. So that was a waste of money, which it would have been anyway, but yeah, I gotta get rid of that thing. But I'll be right back thanks to the magic of video editing when we are ready to leave. How dark it is. And guess what? It rained at some point. So hopefully it doesn't do that again. I'll get going before I burn all of my extra time, because it'd be kind of nice not to do that. So here we go. got here when I did. Because it's busy. Extremely busy. I mean, there's parking spots now because we're like maybe an hour in. But when I got here, this was literally the parking spot that I could get. That was it. So I'll bring you in. I'll try and bring you in just for a quick speed round. I don't know if it'll actually work because I don't know how good the battery is on these, but we'll try. Worst case scenario, they don't work. So. I think I did okay. I mean, there really wasn't as much stuff as I would have liked, but I still managed to get a haul. You know, there's some things. Yes, that's an HT, sort of, I guess. We'll look at that here in a minute. There's that box of stuff, but I need to get out of here. And I just realized that I left my camera going. Whoops. Okay, well, that's the thing. So I'm going to have to check the other one because I don't think the battery is going to last on that. Oh well, let's get out of here. That was only like half an hour. Feels like it was a lot longer, but of course it's not exactly big. It's a smaller place, so, you know, take from that what you may. I'm surprised these camera glasses, the battery actually lasted. The last time I tried this, they died about halfway through the parking lot. Well, maybe it's just that these are charged up a little bit better this time. I don't know. This thing is basically dead. And this one, the second one that I brought, is totally dead. I think this battery is toast. So, that's great. I guess I'm not filming a return, eh? I knew I should have brought the Canon cameras with me. Oh well, whatever. Too late now. Anyway, I did stop here. I was going to get something. This is one of the ones that has a New York fries at it. I was going to get that. Of course, it's not open right now because it's like before 12. And I kind of expected that to be the case, but I figured I'll try it anyway. And if not, maybe there'll be something else. There is, but the lineups are so ridiculous that it is just simply not worth bothering with. And I don't even know why, because this parking lot is mostly empty. So, screw that. I'll get something when I get home. Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, we're back. Well, I have been back for a little while. Just had lunch and all that stuff. It's almost 1 o'clock at this juncture. Filling this back up again because, of course, this ran out of water, so I had to use that. Anyway, I've got my stuff pulled out, sitting on the floor, except for that, which we'll get to here in a minute. Thanks to the magic of video editing, you won't have to wait. I will say this for the Hamfest. It was bigger than West Island. The one that, if you remember back to that West Island Hamfest video last year, that was kind of pathetic. This one was better, but maybe not by much. It was still on the order of a pretty small Hamfest. Like the Eastern Ontario one was larger than Kingston, and I was mildly surprised to learn that, because I would have thought Kingston would have been larger, because Kingston's obviously a larger city, but there was a lot of ham gear. I mean, it's a ham fest, what do you expect? But there really just was not a whole lot in the way of interesting electronic junk, like other radios and things like that. There was a guy that had a whole bunch of radios, you probably saw them, the Transoceanic being one of them. But he was proud of his offerings, or looked at eBay before pricing them. That Transoceanic was $120, and they're worth that. They are worth that. I mean, not to me, but they are definitely, if you go on eBay, they're worth a lot more than that. People go absolutely nuts over Zenith Transoceanics. I don't know why, but they have a cult following. But, yeah. The handhelds were not too bad this time. You know, even after the other two Hamfests, even the crappy Baofeng junk was like $50 or more. And I was prepared to tell you I didn't even see a Baofeng, but that's not true. There was one in a box, and I didn't even look at the price because I didn't care, because I don't want a Baofeng. You know, when the world's your oyster, why would you settle for fish paste? Yes, sometimes the fish paste is good enough, and Baofengs are I guess not sought after, but seen as good starter radios, and that's probably true, but, you know, why do that when you can get something better? Anyway, the guy, really the only two people that had interesting random electronics that were not ham-related at all, was the guy at the radios, and then there was the same guy that I bought those hard drives and that one up there from. He had a couple again, but they weren't nearly as good of a deal. Like, you see, that one's listed at $35. I think I gave him $25. He wanted, like, $40 for basically the same drive. It's like, you know what? That's not worth it to me. I don't think so. And then a 2 terabyte drive for $35. You know, 2 terabyte drives you can basically get for free now. So, either way, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to go get a camcorder. I guess it's not going to be one of the Sony ones. And we will take a look at this stuff. So I will be right back, thanks to the magic of video editing, so we can have a peek at what I have. Alright, let's take a look at the stuff. What do we got? Well, first things first, none of this is in order, I should mention, but we'll start with this. A Uniden Storm Tracker, model BCT-12, the world's smallest weather alert system. You can see there. Fully pre-programmed for all 50 states and Canadian provinces. Yes, that's what that says. That's a new one to me. Never heard of that before. Listed for $25. I offered $15. He accepted $20. You can pause the video if you'd like to read any of this, assuming that you can by the time YouTube compression gets done with it. So, anyway. So there's that. I think it's complete, so that's nice. Speaking of complete, there's also this, which I gave $5 for. A little Micronta multimeter. With all the usual features. There's the catalog number. Manufactured in Korea for Radio Shack, a division of Tandy Electronics Limited. Like I said, it's complete. I have everything, including the leads, which is important because I don't have any leads that would actually fit this thing. So, at least not as far as I know. I don't think the larger ones, because I know that I've got a couple of larger ones, I don't think the larger ones use the same test leads. This was $1. A 500-watt Corsair power supply. I've never had a whole lot of luck with Corsair power supplies, but I suppose it's probably perfectly acceptable, and he said it was pulled from a working computer, so for $1 you probably can't go too far wrong on that one. And then, even though I am not, at this current moment, a ham radio operator, I did pick up some ham gear. This is a Yaesu FT208R 2-meter VHF handheld transceiver with the base station, model NC8, power supply and quick charger. So, there is that. It's got some stickers on it. Call signs and such like things. The HT itself, I was told, works. It does not have a battery. Call it a synthesized handy, is what they call it. Made in Japan. No battery, like I said. I'll have to see if I can source one. Although I wouldn't need to use this as an HT. And it's questionable how useful it might actually be, because it does not do CTCSS tones. On the other hand, and I could probably be totally wrong on this one, and these don't either, it said $20 for the bucks. Oh, yeah, that was marked 30, they accepted 20. Marked 20 for the entire box. Offered 10, they accepted 15 on this. I have a pair of realistic HTX 202 2-meter transceivers. This one works just fine. Power's on and everything. It's just fine. The other one needs some help. But they came with antennas. It's just little ducky antennas. Who cares about those? A couple extra antennas, including one right here that has definitely seen better days. This is a shoulder strap, I think. No, it's not. That's a belt clip. That's what that is. 2 additional batteries. The one that's on here right now is an iCAD, and so is this. But this one is the AA pack. And, excuse me, a 12-volt DC adapter for charging these batteries. Well, there you go. That's the stuff I got. Not really much, but definitely useful things. So there you have it. Here's the stuff. I think I've got, between the last 4 Hamfests, you know, KARC, Peoria, Eastern Ontario, and now Kingston, between all these Hamfests, I think I've got more than enough stuff to keep me busy for a good long while. At least until Kemptville holds theirs, if they're going to hold one this year. I don't know. This coming year, 2026. Last year, or this year was their first one. So I don't know. I think it was a success. So hopefully they'll hold another one next year, because that was kind of nice to go to. Anyway, I'm going to close the video with that. I would like to thank you for watching. And if you have any comments, as long as they're constructive, please feel free to leave them below.